Then it's 6 o'clock and I am opening the December 5, 2023 meeting of the Rutland Conservation Commission. Present in the room, Joe Delaquila, Skip Clark, Jared Gentolucci, excuse me, the coughing man himself, Peter Crane, Scott Langren, our marvelous assistant administrator, do it all for us, Tamika Murphy, present remotely, Melissa Danza, and our conservation agent, Bree. Oh, here comes somebody else. Here comes Tracy. Bree Weigel.
Good catch. Couldn't remember her last name. You had to read it.
No. You think I can read that from here? What is that? All right, we do the sharing screen. We'll start with minutes.
Also with the minutes as written.
Second.
Discussion, corrections, comments. Good to me. Roll call.
Langer and I.
Delaquila, aye.
Clark, aye.
Gentolucci, aye.
Dan's eye.
Crane abstain. I remembered, see?
I was waiting, I was like,
Oh, wait a second, hold on, here comes
We
Mia.
did one thing right today, so far.
It's pretty good. That's about the, you know,
still time.
that's the
That's
limit.
it.
I've
That's
hit my
it.
one, that's all I need to do right today.
That's all we get.
Just a second, where the heck is the agenda? There we go, so, we've done the meeting minutes. So we've got RDA for the town of Rutland. I believe that we even have the paperwork, such as it is, right here. So Bree, I don't know if you can talk to this, but
Yeah, I filled it out for the DPW director. He asked me to fill it out for him. Pretty much there's a culvert that is in violation because the outlet is discharging sediment into the wetlands. So that's why we had to fill out the RDA.
mhm.
And pretty much the RDA is just so that way he can clean up the sediment, so that DPW can clean up the sediment, which is in the buffer zone, and kind of get the situation under control.
Is it at 17 Palmagussit? No, 17 Palmagussit
It's-
is DPW. Where is this?
19 Miles Road.
19 miles. Ah, thank you. Okay. And
Oh, is this a different one?
No,
No, no, no.
Palmagussit Road is DPW's address, you
Yeah.
gotta scroll down for the Miles Road.
Peter already made his mistake.
it's near
Oh, yeah.
16. There we go.
There it is.
Again, how many things we're gonna do right today? So it's the culvert, but he's gonna clean the culvert and each side.
He's gonna clean the outlet, which is on the side of the DCR trail. That's where the outlet is.
Ah, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
right. I did hear something about this, cause there's a whole question about who owns what section of land there.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If you walked anywhere, you've seen it. It's fine.
So actually where that outlet discharges to is not owned by DPW. I think it's owned by the resident that lives right next to it. But I think the culvert is owned by DPW, so yeah.
Right, cause it's a town road, so DPW has the culvert itself.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a submission or is this the hearing?
This is the hearing,
Okay, well, such as it is.
yes.
Questions or comments from the commission?
Nope.
Oh,
So
Questions,
what's
comments?
kind of the,
Go ahead.
oh, sorry, what's the scope of the clean out?
So pretty much they're gonna clean the outlet and then 20 feet outward from the outlet. Cause there's like 2 inches of sediment, so I checked the site with Mia and it's considered a fill, so those first 20 feet right after the outlet.
Are they using like a excavator bucket or?
Yeah, I think so. They're gonna be using it from the road.
Okay,
I made sure to tell them to not take the machinery into, the buffer zone or the wetlands, so, and Chris was on board with it, so they'll be scooping everything out from the road.
okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Any questions from anybody else? Are they gonna actually clean the culvert?
I think there are some issues with this culvert,
Wait,
think
a
they're-
culvert in town has issues? That's
Yeah.
shocking.
there's something, so there's issues with the grade of the culvert because there might be a sewer line that runs right next to it or right below it. So I think they're just gonna clean the outlet and create like a sump right after the outlet, so that way the outlet can start catching any sediment or anything like that, and then DPW can just go and clean the sump opposed to what they're gonna do now.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't think they're gonna be cleaning that whole culvert. I think they need to
Okay.
replace that thing in the future, yeah.
I'm sure it's on the list of culverts that need work,
Yeah.
along with virtually every other culvert
It
in
is
town,
and
I
it is
think.
now, right?
Okay.
Are they doing this while there's water flowing, or are they dewatering?
It's not like there isn't an actual stream that goes through it. I mean, like sometimes water is flowing through it when it rains or something like that, but
Okay.
it's not like a super wet culvert or anything like that.
Is it something that we just have to worry about sedimentation and erosion while this is being done? Is there something that we should implement for during the clean out?
I don't think we need any ECBs for this. I mean, but if you guys want them, then
It's a very small area.
How long, this is probably
Yeah.
like, what, a day or two,
Dead.
right?
it would take
Hours,
probably about like
hours.
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah. So I agree, I don't think erosion controls are needed if it's gonna be that quick.
The
Yeah.
whole issue is that the culvert is pitched wrong.
Mhm.
Oh, it's pitched backwards.
Yeah,
Oh.
so that builds
So
up.
what happens, you don't get good flow.
Yeah,
And it
sediment
builds
settles
up over
out.
time.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
Yeah.
makes sense.
And just it's where it's at. You're getting road drainage, you're getting runoff from the side, or you're getting everything to one spot it
Sand,
sits.
all the crap goes in there.
for what it actually does,
Right.
I don't know that it's worth the time to spend a lot of money on that because based on the fact that there's sewer line there, there's more than one sewer line there, there's gravity and there's force main there. So you got
It's a
multiple
complicated
issues
issue
that
there.
you really don't wanna.
Yeah.
The can.
Yeah, and I think it would only take like 2 or 3 hours to do is what I got from Chris, so it
Before
should be pretty
before or
quick.
after coffee break.
Yeah, that's something to run a pressure washer hose down and clean it, I mean, it's
Right. It's
push
fine.
the stuff out.
Yep.
That's why I was thinking a day, I was factoring that in.
Coffee break?
Yeah.
So you never take less than a day, right, for any job?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
8 hours minimum.
Isn't there a 4-hour minimum or something?
I think it's 8 now, pretty sure.
Anything else?
Here, can I just ask someone to confirm which number we're gonna issue the determination for?
It is jurisdictional, let's start with that.
I think it's 3. We'll find it on this
Oh,
one.
no, this is the wrong form to answer that question,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Oh. Hold on, let me pull it up.
Yeah. Could you call that a municipal project?
We still have to list the reason number,
Yeah, the reason number's still,
which you're issuing it.
Bree, is this area in the buffer zone? It is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
I think we'd be looking at negative determination number 3.
Okay, thanks, Jared.
2A, did you say?
What?
3.
3.
so it is jurisdictional, but there's no,
Work described in the request is within the buffer zone, but will not alter an area subject to protection under the act.
Right.
Does not require the filing of an NOI, subject to any conditions if we wanna add any.
so can I get a motion for that, please?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Other discussion, do we want any conditions on this
Yeah.
3-hour-long project. I don't know, maybe we should force them to build a cofferdam to really make sure. Jesus.
There's just
Erosion controls
notification
from
when it's
Pond Augusta
done.
all the way down.
I'm sorry, what was that, Melissa?
Just notification before they do it or when, expected timeline.
Why?
Fair, fair.
That'd be good to know.
Anything else?
No.
We have a motion, we have a second, time for a vote.
Aye.
Clog eye.
Gentilucci, aye.
Flanger and I.
Dan's eye.
Crane, aye. Alrighty. Conservation agent update, Bree, take it away, please.
So I did a site visit with Tom Larson yesterday at Brittenell. I'm still pretty concerned and I showed you the area up here last week when I saw you in person, but I'm still pretty concerned about the erosion controls that are not up where they've cut all the trees and the logger actually took more trees than he needed to. I don't understand why the silt fence and hay bales aren't up. So I would like more guidance from the commission.
Yeah, I apologize for missing that. And by the time I got there, it was too late. I was supposed to be there yesterday and I read my calendar wrong the night before, so I planned my day wrong and so I apologize for that. You're not back in the office till Friday, right?
I probably won't be in this week because I did too many hours yesterday and some today, so I'll probably be all done. Yep.
All right, let's get together on Monday then.
Okay.
Where is this on the project, Bree? Where on that project did they do this? I'm just curious.
So there's the side where the replication area is.
Okay.
So it's like
Not
5,
that
6, 7
side,
of
it's
those
the
lots.
side opposite of that.
So it's across like 21, 22.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then up the hill?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where the logger, I think it was in April of this year, went
Oh,
past
yep.
the limit of work. But I don't think they would have gone past the limit of work if erosion controls would have been installed. So I think the fact that erosion controls are not installed, kind of, it blurs the lines, which they shouldn't be blurred because on the approved plan, there are erosion controls.
And since they're talking about stumping those trees, I'm now gonna become more concerned about needing the ECBs on whichever side will protect the wetlands. So Bree, I haven't heard them say anything that changes my mind or convinces me that you're not correct about this, that the ECBs should be there.
I mean, what
And-
Tom told me in person is that the ECBs are not up because they wanted to cut the trees, which still doesn't really make much sense to me. But Tom said that he also got approval from the Concom to not put the ECBs up before the trees were cut. So I'm not really sure if that's the case. I don't know because I wasn't part of
I don't
the
have a
approval
recollection,
process.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Bree, but I have no recollection of that discussion, but my memory's bad, so I wanna talk to the commission about this for a second.
I don't, but we've let people cut and not stump.
Yes,
And we've done that. And
Yeah.
this one doesn't ring a bell.
No.
And it was an overcut. The biggest thing this was an overcut.
yes.
And I remember the overcut and I remember all the other stuff. I mean, before they stump anything, they have to go in.
Right,
Period.
so, yeah, Bree, we're gonna, I think it's probably time for a letter from the commission
Yeah.
to say that
I mean,
those ECBs belong, they need to be installed before stumping.
Yeah, definite. There ain't no doubt about it.
If they weren't gonna stump it, I might let something slide, maybe.
I mean, to a point, I understand if you're gonna cut a whole bunch of trees. And guess what? It makes sense, otherwise you're gonna drop the friggin' tree on these and you're gonna start all over again.
And, well,
I get that to a point.
the other thing that needs to be evaluated though is do the ECB line need to change because they overcut? So I don't wanna have them, strictly install to the plan if the plan is gonna put the stumping on the wrong side of the ECBs.
But they're not gonna stump the overcut.
I'm hearing that they are.
Did they say anything like that to you, Bree?
Whether they were cutting more trees.
Oh, are they gonna stump the overcut? Cause you,
Well, I mean, they're gonna take the stumps out eventually, yeah.
from the overcut?
What do you mean overcut? From where the logger took those trees?
Yeah,
Yes.
they actually, where they weren't supposed to cut and they did cut, are they gonna stump that piece of it too?
No, I don't think they're gonna stump that.
Yeah, so if they're not gonna stump that, the original line will still work.
But even then, it's still, ECBs have gotta be in before stumping.
Yes.
They have to be.
Oh, yeah,
100%.
definitely.
But aren't ECBs supposed to be in before they do any work?
Not
Isn't
logging,
that what the special conditions say?
logging sometimes not because they're gonna drop on top of it, so you're just gonna, it creates.
Yeah, but I mean, that wasn't stated as a condition in the special conditions of the order of conditions. So like, I'm just saying, like, how do I verify that that's the case if it's not stated anywhere in the paperwork? Like, it just makes it really hard for me to.
And I agree with you, Bree, that puts you at a,
Disadvantage.
I was actually gonna say, it puts you in a very bad position is what it does, because you can't know what we have and haven't talked about if we don't document it. This is another one of those things where we collectively have to be better at our specifications in the conditions, so that everybody knows what we expect and not. So we have to make sure that in places where we say you don't have to have ECBs before cutting, we should be explicit about that.
I mean, everybody knows before you stump, you have to have them. I mean, I've never seen somebody not do that.
Again, I'm not,
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So
Oh, yeah,
I-
that's a,
You're making an assumption, so you gotta be careful.
yeah,
Yeah.
let's not go down that path. Let's just get a letter to the developer about it, just saying, we understand these ECBs haven't been installed, we'd like them, they have to be installed before stump, and
stumping or earthwork in the area.
hold on, they have to be installed and inspected
Right.
before stumping or any other earthworks.
Yeah.
Did you want me to write that, Peter?
You or Tamika, take your pick.
I mean, I don't mind writing it, I just
Oh, fine, great,
wanna make sure.
if whichever way you think drives the point to the developer home,
That's fine, it's probably best that it comes from Bree,
Yeah.
and then if for some reason she runs out of time with her hours, I'm
Okay.
happy to
That's fine.
do whatever I need
Right,
to.
I mean,
to
that's one of
make
the,
sure it gets
that's,
sent.
that should be the point.
We are within the conservation agent's
That should be the
purview here,
point.
so yeah, so go ahead, Bree, you heard.
Just going back
Great.
to Bree's point about when the erosion controls should be installed, this is more of a bigger question. But, I mean, ideally, they get installed before any work happens. Now, sometimes when you're doing a lot of clearing, it can be difficult to get them in before you actually remove the trees, so I can understand that. I honestly don't remember, it's been a while since I've been out at this site, but I agree, definitely before stumping. I don't understand what Tom said to you, Bree, that doesn't really make any sense to me either. I mean, if the trees
Yeah,
are out, then
It doesn't make sense, and
Yeah.
they've been cut for a long time,
Yeah.
so
I agree.
it's like, okay, you know, and it, like, this whole argument ensued, and at a certain point I had to stop it and move on with the site visit, but you know, it's the principle, right? We're supposed to be installing ECBs, and then I'm supposed to go out and check them before work begins. I mean, that's what the conditions say, so.
Yeah.
Right.
Bree, was any other work performed in that area other than the cutting?
I mean, no, they've just cut a bunch of trees right now. I mean, it's kind of a complicated site. There is some stockpiling that's going on, and there's stockpiling that's way too close to the erosion controls, and now like rocks are falling down because the stockpiles are pretty high there. So there's rocks falling down, and it's crushing the erosion controls, and it's going past the limit of work. So there are other issues that I would like, I would like for Peter to see them, because there's just some special things going on there, but there are other issues, but the ECBs not being in a certain part of the project is kind of concerning.
I think that answers the question pretty,
Yeah, and so, again, just listening to what Bree's saying, we probably need another special condition about minimum distance of stockpile from ECBs to prevent that kind of thing from happening. Because I have noticed that it's up against them in the past.
yeah, you might get into a jurisdictional issue though, at that point.
No,
If
I
you
don't.
put your ECB in, you've already addressed the sedimentation issue.
Except
But
that,
if
except that when
the
the
stockpile is outside the 100, for argument's sake, and I'm just
Yeah.
throwing this out there, but if your ECBs are at the 100-foot mark, for argument's sake, once you're beyond that, do you have jurisdiction?
The ECBs are within the buffer,
Right.
Right.
In fact,
100% within the buffer,
Right.
because there's wetlands surrounding everything.
Alright, so he's got a possibility then
Hmm.
of sedimentation getting into the buffer.
no, she said sedimentation is getting into the buffer over the ECBs that exist because the stockpile is so high.
But even before the ECBs, if the ECBs are in the buffer.
Yeah.
Not at the edge of the buffer. Right, and you're getting sedimentation to the ECB.
Yep,
You have sedimentation in the buffer.
right. Yep. So,
So
just
Bree,
something
you
for
will
us
be-
to talk about in the future
Yes.
about that.
Yeah. But you will be forceful enough with that then, based on what you've seen.
Was there a question?
Nope.
No,
No,
Okay,
I think what Joe's giving is full-throated support to writing the letter.
yes,
okay,
unquestioning
yeah,
support.
Is the stockpile in the buffer?
No, close, might be,
Well, hold on.
Just outside?
yeah, good.
In truth,
I'm just curious, cause they're supposed to be outside the buffer zone.
wrong place, let's go to here.
Bree, was the stockpiling in the buffer, to your estimation?
I mean, there's stockpiles everywhere there.
That's Glenwood. I need to go to Brent.
Yeah, outside of a sedimentation issue, it's put it right in the,
Where you going?
I mean, the stockpiles are
Oh, that's Maple.
in the
Look,
limit
I'm
of
lost.
work, I guess.
Up Palmagussit. Keep going. Over to Brentnall. Paint, paint, paint. Come on.
it's gonna have to start feeding that thing some problem.
There we go. So, I mean, there is, my gut, no, actually, I shouldn't say that. I don't know. Because the stockpile is all in this area that the giant one is here. And I believe the too far clearing was over here.
Yeah.
Right, so Bree, did you notice if they started cutting in the road for the cul-de-sac?
Not yet.
Okay, so they haven't done major earthwork yet.
Well, it was my question earlier, was there any other work
Yeah,
done yet?
so depending upon, now the fact that it's right against the ECBs, I'll bet the ECB runs along this property line right here in terms of being close to the wetland. So I suspect that, I'd have to measure it, I don't know this, but I suspect that the stockpile is in the buffer.
Yeah, might wanna verify that for sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't wanna write anything down until we could be sure, but.
It just kind of nullifies having the ECB if this huge, 15, 30-foot stockpile is gonna be, right up against it. Like, the placement doesn't make sense. And I tried to explain that to Tom, and I don't think I was really getting through, so, I had to move on at a certain point. But
It causes two problems. One, the stockpile can slough down and overtake the erosion control barrier. The other issue is, if you don't have any space, you can't do maintenance on the erosion control barrier. So that's the other reason to provide
Some.
4 or 5 feet. You don't need a lot of room. But at least I'd say 4 or 5 feet
Yeah,
would be enough.
but using the ECBs as a wall of the stockpile, that's
Bad idea.
that's bad.
It's gonna get compromised very quickly and not serve its function.
Okay, Bree, anything else about Brittenell?
no, not about Britnell.
Okay, then I know I interrupted you and I apologize for that, so what's next on your list?
The only other thing that I want to mention is that I met Jim Susie at his project on Miles Road near the rail trail parking. And his erosion controls look fine. And I will be creating site visit summaries for these 2 site visits that I'm talking about, Britnell and Jim Susie's site. Just because I have pictures that I would like you guys to see. But Jim's site looks fine. He hasn't done very, very much work. And I think they're gonna be, stopping work somewhat soon. I'm more concerned about the replication area, which is over 5,000 square feet. There is not very much that details how the replication area is going to be done. There's no narrative on the impacted wetland. There's no narrative on the wetland that they're trying to create, whether it's a forested wetland or whatnot. So I'm a bit concerned about this replication. It's a lot of wetland to have replicated and then fail. And from what I understand with my conversations with Jim is that he's going to be doing the replication himself, and he's not a wetland scientist. So I'm a little bit concerned about that as well.
Tamika, do you remember where we should have that online, that should all be electronic, if this is the project I think it is.
It was 2022, I believe.
Mhm.
So it would be under the 2022 folder. Yep, your mouse is on it. Yep.
Yeah, just that one, I was just looking to see if there's a,
Oh, yep, and then there's gonna be 2022 applications, and this one I believe is listed as Millbrook NOI for Millbrook Road.
It was right at the top there, Peter,
Was
the
it?
amended.
This is the
Yeah, it
one
is the
that
Millbrook
got
one.
smaller, cause he moved the driveway.
Yes.
It was bigger, it got
Right.
significantly smaller. I thought it was under 5,000.
We had them submit a new page
Yeah.
3, I think it was, so that was.
Cause it was like 7,500 and it went to, I thought, I don't remember.
right,
So it
'cause this
went
is where the
from like-
replication's
Right,
way
right,
over here, yep.
right.
And they're gonna get to it from
Yes.
the old folks development.
Yeah, 55 and over.
Yep.
So the replication went from just under 12,000 square feet
Yep.
to a little bit under 6,000.
Okay.
So the water quality, the 401 water quality cert was triggered,
Mhm.
which I confirmed with Jim. So it's a sizable replication to, only have this little left-hand corner, be the whole replication plan. I don't have a lot of confidence that this is going to
Didn't
be a successful replication.
Join, I thought Join, didn't he explain this? This is,
Yes.
that this ties into other wetland, so
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
already
It's-
there.
it's
This is-
placed-
It's
it's
placed
placed-
close to the existing one that's up there, so that's why they had a higher confidence, cause
Yes.
there was something about that.
I think they did mention that.
Because again, that's why they placed it where they did, cause there's one here and they're like, they did it so, they're like, the soils are right,
Yeah.
it should.
Yes, but I'll also say to that, all wetland replication should happen adjacent to existing wetlands.
But again, I know it was discussed.
I do remember it was,
I don't
but
remember.
I was just pulling up the order of conditions, cause I was
Right.
wondering, I think Bree, I agree with Bree, she makes a good point. I was trying to remember, did we have a requirement for them to monitor the replication area for
For the 3
multiple growing
years of that.
seasons by a wetland
Yeah.
I think
scientist.
we did.
That's part of
Part
our
two,
orders.
yep.
We- That's part of our
Yeah, I
specials.
thought we did,
Yes,
yeah.
it has to be monitored anyways,
So, I mean, ultimately, the burden is on
whoever does
the
it.
applicant to make sure that it does take.
Yeah,
Right,
it's got 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a check and balance on it.
Right. I think your concerns are valid, Bree. But ultimately, it's their responsibility to make sure that it actually replicates. And if it doesn't, then we say, try again.
Right,
So the
Yeah, behooves
commission's
them to
not
do it on
gonna
the first try
issue
rather
a,
than do it on the second try.
what, Bree?
I'm sorry, Bri, I missed that.
I was gonna say, so the commission is not going to issue a certificate of compliance until the replication is successful?
I
wouldn't-
I wouldn't agree to
yeah.
one.
How does he sell the house?
So you give them
sell
power.
the house
No, but you
without that.
can sell the
Yeah.
house, that
Okay.
happens all the
Okay.
time,
was
it's,
gonna say, yeah,
it's when
they
they
have
sell
to
it the
enforce
next
it.
time.
Right, right.
No.
Yeah, which makes no sense to me, but whatever.
Right,
Well,
yeah.
as usual.
Exactly.
But it also has to do with
Mhm.
when the orders are issued and how long it is and how long it's possible.
Right, cause I know we did touch on this one.
Right. Yep.
Yes, that's supposed to be, taken care of at disclosure.
Right.
So Bree, maybe just reiterating to Jim that the replication area does need to have those monitoring reports by a qualified wetland scientist. And I think you had mentioned that some of the species that they had proposed originally weren't wetland indicator plants or, wetland plants in general. Maybe kind of a recommendation of reviewing the planting plan and restoration plan for maybe consistency or updates, if necessary. And, if there are recommendations that you would rather provide, I think that would be helpful.
I know that, I looked up this NOI in the NOI lookup on the EEA's data portal, and DEP did issue comments saying that, some of the plants that are, I mean, if you go a little bit lower to the bottom of the site plan, you'll see a table of the plants. Some of the plants are not wetland plants. They're upland plants. I mean, Easter wine pine is not, that's not a wetland plant. So I don't know if Jim is planning on changing that, if that was discussed, but I mean, I have no problem working with Jim on it and making sure that all the plants that are planted are wetland plants, but I just, want to point that out.
I think it's a good point, I don't remember us discussing the planting mix when we were doing this, but that again could just be my memory not remembering.
Right.
But yeah, I think you working with Jim is going to be the most effective way to make sure that we have a chance to have this be as successful as we need it to be, and he needs it to be.
And I think that like if we were to require a narrative, we can kind of, like in the narrative, it would say like how many trees will be taken and how many shrubs, give an estimate, right? Not an exact number, but maybe an estimate. So that way we know that the replication area is, gonna look similar with the similar amounts of trees and shrubs and stuff like that. So I think that, especially for this size, it's my recommendation that the commission request narratives in the future, because I feel like, yes, the burden is on the applicant to make sure that it's successful, but by requesting a narrative, requesting a timeline, requesting more information, I think we're helping the applicant be successful in actually replicating a wetland.
Yeah, I don't disagree, I think that's something we could certainly discuss
Good suggestion.
as we move forward. Okay.
I do agree with Bree though, that we should at least talk to Jim about the plantings that are proposed in terms of ensuring at the very least that they're wetland plants, not upland.
Yep, agreed. So anything else on this site?
Nope, not for me.
Okay. would you care to give the commission a brief discussion about the site walk you and I and DEP and DOT and many other, whoever else was there? Care to give an overview of that?
I mean, I guess I can. I think the letter that I sent out sums it up pretty well. Officials from DEP, from DOT were at the meeting in addition to Peter and I. The meeting,
Wrong darn page.
what?
I'm sorry, I loaded the wrong page.
Oh, and
That's what I meant
so
to load.
the meeting started pretty much at Miles Road. We looked at 8 Miles Road, talked about that. Talked about whether the work had been done according to plan, and DEP, DOT, Peter and I, we all were in agreement that everything was done to plan for 8 Miles Road and Miles Road in general. And then we headed to Molten Pond Dam and looked at the sedimentation, which there is no evidence of sedimentation, because the rain events were just too hard. I mean, the rain just flushed everything downstream. So I think that we should just go with DOT and DEP's recommendations that we wait until drawdown. But make sure that we have a plan for drawdown if we do see sedimentation during drawdown next year. But I don't know if there's anything that you wanted to say, Peter. Obviously Tracy and me are also on the Zoom.
Yes, there are things I do, a couple things I wanna say. Since I was at the meeting where we talked about the letter, but where we had the letter of disapproval written, I listened to everything that was said that day, and I didn't think a lot of it was unreasonable. Then I listened to everybody at the site walk, and nothing they said was unreasonable. Just because of history, and there's a lot of things going on, I get it. I am going to therefore back Bree on what she said is that we should, that the plan documented by SWICA sounds reasonable and appropriate for this site. That is my conclusion. Now, people are of course allowed to disagree with me. There was no clear and obvious sedimentation at any of the points that we looked at because we are all convinced it's gone all the way into Thayer.
Because you looked at it 16 weeks after it happened.
Granted.
Fair enough.
No, the more I say, the more trouble I'm gonna get, so I'm not gonna say. But that is my recommendation to the commission. Tracy or Adele, do either of you have anything to say about that site walk and the discussions that we had and your recommendations?
Hi, Tracy Coppolotti, Mass DOT environmental engineer.
Tracy, I'm sorry, you're very soft, we can't hear you.
Sorry, I've been sick.
Oh, there we go, okay. Yes.
Oh, yeah, you knew that last week.
And you're not sounding any better today.
No.
That was nice of you, Peter.
So yeah, no, I think, we all, again, we walked the site. Well, I drove through the site, so I didn't have to get out and walk because I was sick. But, we went from Miles Road, then we went that back road. I don't know the name of the road that brings us up to the dam.
What is that?
And
Molten Mill,
I'd
yeah.
have no idea.
whatever that road is.
Yeah, it's Molten Mill Road.
Oh, okay. And, everyone in attendance other than myself walked and observed sites at different points. There was one point where there's a culvert that goes under that road that we were driving on that we had looked at previously. And then up to the dam. And I think everybody was in agreement with SWICA with that, they really didn't observe anything specific. And that waiting till drawdown, and then if something is observed during drawdown, then we will have, we'll have them remove it. They'll need to remove it. And also that we discussed the fact that the commission had talked about removing some of the erosion control compost filter tubes at the dam, just at the dam, so that water does not pond there and freeze and create a dangerous situation over the winter. And that is scheduled to be done this Friday.
Cool. Great. Good.
So those two areas were marked out. I went out there, Adele and I went out there and met Scott and Joe and marked those, and Adele took photos and sent them to the contractor and Roger to make sure, they know exactly the limit of what they're going to be taking out.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Adele, do you have anything for us?
Regarding site visits and how we are going to suspend them for the time being due to there not being any crews on site during the winter. So I asked her if she or the commission had any concerns or were looking to schedule a visit during this time, that they reach out either through Bree or one of the commission members to myself and Tracy if they wanted to schedule a visit with us via email.
We would absolutely do that, and we will absolutely do that through Bree.
Great, thank you.
And Peter, I'm
Yes.
sorry, just to add that Mia McDonald from Mass DEP that was at the site walk is also on if you wanted to ask her anything or.
I was going to do that next. I was figuring I'd deal with DOT, and then I'd move into DEP.
Sure. Okay, thank you.
Alphabetical order.
Well, empty. Okay, so Mia, I just wanted to ask what your impressions of everything were, and if you have any comments other than what's been said so far.
No, I'm just here to provide technical assistance. DOT asked me to attend in case the commission had any questions. We did attend on November 30th. It was myself and Gary Dolmain from Central Region DEP. He is a DEP analyst with over 30 years experience, and he is also the one doing inspections on the 401 water quality certificate for the dam work. We also had Heidi Davis and Ryan, an engineer from our Boston office. They are the inspectors, and they're also DEP analysts and engineers for the 401 water quality certificate for the Route 56 Palmagussit Road work. So DEP holds, 401 water independent, similar to your order of conditions. DEP holds permits for that work as well. So they were performing the inspection to make sure that the plans had no deviation. The work was moving along as approved, and there were no obvious deviations. Both the Boston group that was overseeing the work on 56 and Gary, who was overseeing the work along the dam, which not much has happened on the dam. He was more we were all looking for impacts and accumulated sediments in the pond, and none were observed. The four of us from DEP were satisfied with the response under our 401 water quality certificate, with the response proposed by DOT through their consultant, I think it was SWCA, with the plan to revisit and look for cumulative sediments once the drawdown occurs. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I do want to note that Gary Domain did visit the site in July, the day after the sedimentation event. And he said he did observe turbid water, but he did not observe any accumulated sediments in the pond that day.
Right, I don't think we expected to see very much accumulation there. We think the force of the water drove it downstream into Thayer Pond.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So.
And I do believe, Tracy, if you, just to make sure I'm clear, is that I understood that DOT was going to ask the commission to reconsider their disapproval and accept the plan. That's Mia, the liaison, speaking. I'm just here to try to help DOT and the commission work together. I don't represent anyone. I'm just trying to provide technical assistance.
Yes, thank you, Mia.
No problem.
Okay, well. I would ask that someone make a motion to rescind the letter of disapproval.
I'm drawing a cricket.
What's that?
I'm drawing a cricket.
Crickets, that's, yep.
Disapproval of the.
Of the Swicka plan.
recommendation.
That's right.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion. Can we get a second? Dare we?
Dan's a second.
There we go. Other discussion? I've said everything I'm going to say on the topic. Okay, roll call.
I got a question.
What's up? Yes.
So we're taking a vote on that we originally disapproved? I understand, I mean, again, yeah, now we're all to the point of saying, okay, it's a drawdown thing. But we're saying we didn't like it, and now we do?
No, we're saying we don't disapprove the plan.
Oh, okay, I'm making.
That's all.
That's not the way I understand it.
That's not the way I understood it either.
Then I apologize.
Because I was understanding we were saying that we made a mistake before. That's how I interpreted it.
Yes, I did too.
Our disapproval of the plan was one of the matters.
Our questioning of the plan.
No, there was a formal letter of
Right.
disapproval of the plan. That's not just disagreeing with the plan.
And you requested a different plan.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm just trying to
Okay.
clear it because with all the crickets, I'm kind of like, okay, what's everybody missing? Okay.
Having said that, any other questions or discussion? Roll call. Start over here.
Elk will abstain.
Clock abstain.
Gentilucci, aye.
Langer abstain.
Dan's aye.
Crane, aye. There. So we are rescinding,
Does that,
sorry, go ahead.
I don't know if that technically passes.
It's 3 and 3.
It's a majority of people present and voting. Because we had 3 abstentions, they don't count against.
No, they do.
Yeah. No, that's not what town council tells me.
Doesn't have to be a nay vote to count?
It has to be a nay
So it
vote to
has
be
to be-
against it. Anybody who doesn't vote is the same as someone who is
Not
But a
recused.
majority of the commission has to vote in favor. The majority of the commission did not vote in favor.
But R3 abstains wouldn't count as votes.
Right,
So
but
the majority of the
four.
commission
So
would have voted yes.
no,
Melissa, you're saying 4 of us have to vote yes.
yes. Mia has her hand up. Mia, please help.
I have no idea.
As I
So
said,
it doesn't have to be a formal vote. It doesn't have to be, so basically the commission wrote a letter of disapproval. And DOT is back here, they're asking you to reconsider. And so that letter of disapproval said, we disapprove of your plan, we want a new plan. And DOT is coming back and they're saying, we consulted with more people and we want to stick with our plan. So I think another question the commission maybe should consider is, would the commission consider accepting the original plan? Or is the commission still going to require a new plan? And if that DOT doesn't know what that new plan would be, is what I'm hearing from DOT. So
Okay.
I guess I want to hear, if I were a resident attending this, and you're as your TA provider, I want to know what each commissioner is thinking, what they want to see. Do they want to see a new plan, or are they okay with waiting after they've heard from, 4 DP analysts that we're satisfied with the plan, that it's not over. This is not over. That we're going to go back after the drawdown. DOT is going back, and there's going to be more observations and possible restoration if there's accumulated sediments in there. So, I'd like to hear if it's okay with the chairman from the different commissioners what they would like to see as a next step. Don't worry about this isn't a public hearing. This is a discussion. You wrote a letter. It's not a formal motion.
Okay,
So in essence, what you're telling us then is that all of the language that you just kinda added in just now is supplemental to the original plan. So you're actually presenting another plan?
No, they want permission to continue without a new plan, on the plan they gave us.
Right, but she made statements saying that they will do this or will do that.
That was in the original plan.
No, she.
Alright, so I think we're looking about this a little interestingly too, in that we had a potential violation and we're having a discussion about a violation. This is the mitigation plan, and the plan before us is to wait until the drawdown. Are we good with that? Yes or no? I am fine. I think is great,
I'm good with that.
and that we can move forward.
Yeah, but I'm not
Right,
gonna vote on
and
it.
even the plan says that if they discover sedimentation as they're doing the drawdown, that they will develop how to move forward. I understand that as the right path.
I get all that.
So we will take up conversations again after the drawdown and evaluate from there.
All right, I'll change my vote to an accept.
So I think as long as we're in general agreement, there's nothing we technically have to vote on,
Okay.
as long as we just kind of continue this until after the drawdown. I think that would make everyone more comfortable and.
Like my opinion on it was, okay, do what you're gonna do. At this point, I didn't say no, cause I get it, okay, let's see what happens. So that's why I just didn't vote. That was why I did it my way.
Okay.
It wasn't a no. It wasn't I want a new plan. I think more of it is the fact that it was a 16-week, let's wait and let it wash itself out. That's my own opinion. But I didn't no vote it, I just went, okay, let happen. You have a plan. They're gonna work on that plan. You don't need a new one at this point. It's gone. If you find it, great. If you don't, you don't.
So is there anything left to do on this
No, I don't think so.
for now?
Oh, but
Okay.
you got 4 yays on it, so.
Good.
I'll just make sure to document it in the minutes.
Okay, Mia,
Yeah.
I see your hand again?
Yeah, I just wanted to confirm, because I can't see everybody, so I just wanted to find out that, that every member of the commission was able to speak and give their opinion, and it's the consensus of the commission that they're not am I accurate that they're not requiring a new plan from DOT, and they're going to, follow, you are going to keep on the path of accepting their plan and going back and observing for accumulated sediment during the drawdown. Is that accurate?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and I think if you note that in the minutes, it's sufficient.
Okay.
Yes.
Piece of cake.
I think this was pie, piece of pie.
Piece of pie? Okay.
Strawberry rhubarb.
All right, do we have any other discussion points about the Route 56 project today? We know that it's closed down for the year. That did, however, lead me to a question that I hadn't thought about until a couple of moments ago. Because we know that the side of the road is still torn up, and the places where they have built the wall but haven't installed sidewalks.
It's in. Sidewalks are all in.
Are they all in?
They're all in. They have one piece of wall they didn't cap.
Okay.
Sidewalks are all in.
All right, if it's all in, then I have no other questions.
Peter, I was just gonna ask, for the time being, is it okay if I remove this from the agenda as an ongoing topic until the spring?
Yes, I think so. All right. I thank each of you for attending. Please feel free to stick around if you like. We are such an interesting group, but we are not insulted if you disappear now.
That makes sense, right?
I'll put on my.
Thank you.
Because you figured against that.
Thank you.
before.
Thank you, everyone.
Placeholder.
Thanks.
I'll put on my.
All right. Bree, just to make sure, nothing else on your list of things to discuss today?
No, I guess I just wanna say, I really hope that one or two or, however many commissioners want to be present during the drawdown. I wanna be there as well, so I would encourage anybody to attend, so that way everybody sees the same thing, we're all just in agreement once it happens, so. But
Yes,
that's
we
my
would,
final comment.
sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but we would appreciate that also, for whoever could make it there.
Mhm. We will absolutely, well, we'll know about it far enough in advance, whatever the date turns out to be. You'll let us know in advance so we can schedule ourselves appropriately.
Sure.
So
Yep.
I think that it is very reasonable to have certainly a couple, if not
Bring a
I wouldn't think a quorum, but certainly a few of us will be there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Okay.
please don't
sorry.
hesitate to reach out. I just wanted to point out, Roger and his crew will be, taking a look through the site as the winter progresses. But please, reach out anytime if there is an issue on site that needs to be tended to.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks.
Are you going to something different, or are we still talking?
I was going to move on, but if you have something else, go ahead.
No, for Bree. I got something to ask Bree.
Oh, okay.
Not about this.
Not about this. Okay, go ahead, ask Bree.
Has she got any more to talk about besides these two walks?
Yeah, did she have any more?
That's why I was asking
Oh, okay.
if she has more.
No, nothing else.
Oh,
Nothing
Just
else,
those
great.
two.
Did you get a chance by any chance to look at those houses on Main Street?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I need to reach out to that resident
Okay.
and
That
let
was
them
it.
know that they can't take
Okay.
the lead.
So, Bree, did you have a meeting with
Randy
Austin
Jordan?
and Mr. Jordan about his project?
Yes. Yes, we did. So we had a meeting yesterday that went very, very long. It was Randy Jordan, his engineer from Tetra Tech. We had 3 people from DCR there, including Alan, Tristan, and Bernadette. We had 2 people from NRCS present as well as Austin.
I'm sorry, what's NRCS? Natural Resources?
Natural Resources Conservation Service, so they
Thank
deal
you.
with the farmers. And pretty much the meeting was for DCR and myself to kind of let Randy and his engineer know what the permitting process looks like for each of us, because for DCR, it's different than for us.
Mhm.
Randy wants to use the rail trail, which is going to entail a lot of other permitting, Chapter 97 permitting. So that the DCR process is different from the Concom process, but I was there speaking about, how normal agricultural maintenance is permitted through the Wetland Protection Act regulations, and what sort of forms he should be applying for or using. So I'm going to continue to work with him. But I think it was a productive meeting. But yeah, we don't have anything solid yet from him. He has
Okay.
like 3 different options that he's considering, but he needs to narrow down on one of them first.
Now, I know there's no plan, but I wonder if if we've got a sense of when he wants to do this project.
Would be nice.
Because if we need to, there will be permitting. Permitting takes time.
Well, so I've spoken with Mia about this, not about Randy specifically, but farmers in other towns in Sterling that I work in, because there are farmers there too. So typically what would happen is Randy, in this case, would do an RDA, a request for determination of applicability. He would give us engineered plans, he would explain what his project is, and then he would let us know what agricultural exemption he is trying to apply for, because it's not the land that is exempt, it's the activity. So we need to know what agricultural exemption he is applying for.
Mhm.
And then the commission makes their determination as to whether he needs an NOI or if it can just go through as a negative determination or a negative determination with conditions. But Randy needs to file an RDA to begin as the first step. And as to when he wants to get this project done, he didn't really say he wants to get it done as soon as possible, but you know, we need to get the paperwork done first. So that's my main concern.
You have to have a presentation.
Yes, yes, it will be. That'll be interesting. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Bree.
So that's all, that's more things coming at us someday. Other questions for Bree? No? All right, application procedures. What I think I was thinking when I wrote this is that I would like us, Bree, to begin describing what our processes are for the citizenry. So when somebody needs to do something, it's more clear what's going to happen about whether it's an NOI or an RDA, and if it's an NOI, what the inspection steps are and what the meeting steps are, so that people will know what they're signing up for when they come in. It says application, but I think it's a broader thought about our process documentation than just the application procedure proper. At least that's what my thinking was.
So Peter, may I ask, who were you thinking would be the responsible person to draft that?
Bree.
Okay.
She's gonna know the process, she's gonna know all the steps. I think that would make it most efficient.
I can do that.
You're gonna be dealing with Bree anyway, so.
Exactly, so it makes,
Yeah, if she sets it up, we approve it, it goes from there, and that's how it is, right?
I think,
Yeah, it makes sense.
I think that describing for everybody out there, for the public, how we work will help them understand.
God, we're so
And post it on the new
dysfunctional.
website.
Why, if only there were a place like that, we could put it, Tamika, right?
That they'd
It looks
actually look
so
at.
pretty.
It
The
does look
website.
pretty. They're gonna look at it, Scott, don't worry. I got pictures, I got all kinds of things.
Is it live?
Oh yeah, last Thursday. It's the real deal.
I wasn't here, sorry.
Yeah, it's there for you.
Vacation again?
He was out of town.
Sorry.
Okay, so I just wanted to start this to bring it up. I'm not suggesting that we keep going on, that this stay
It
on,
makes sense, though.
on the agenda. I just wanted to have us discuss it to decide if we thought that was the right thing to do.
Yeah, what makes everything more uniform?
Transparent and uniform, you're also right, that's a good word.
And I just wanted to offer to Bree, cause I know her hours are limited.
Yes.
If you need any help with this task, Bree, I'm happy to help you with that too.
Thank you, Tamika.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that.
Cause I know it's just gonna make.
You got Christmas presents to buy? You need overtime?
No, I think it's gonna make it easier for
Yes.
Bree and for everybody.
Mhm.
And I know that it's not just the commission, I think overall, the boards and commissions are trying to be a bit more professional with their policies and procedures and making sure we have that available to people on the website so that it's uniform across the board. So, you know, if I can help Bree to move it along, I'm happy to do that. So,
We'll be happy to.
We'll be happy to go happy.
And what do you know, maybe we'll all learn a few things in the process too.
absolutely.
Maybe.
Things you didn't know were going on behind the scenes.
So do
Okay.
you guys want me to draft something and then submit it, or is there anything you want me to take action on for next week?
No.
I don't think it's not that short a timeline. Think about it, go
Okay.
ahead and draft something in your time. I don't wanna say, this is not your
Just looking
highest
to set a
priority
deadline.
task.
Yeah.
I'm not setting a deadline, I just wanna start the process going. So,
Okay.
I mean, a loose deadline would be, to me, spring, when things get active again. Then
Yeah.
people are gonna start looking for us,
Yeah,
okay?
okay,
If you
yeah, that
if
sounds
you
good.
email me at work, I'll send you some templates.
Okay, that'd be cool.
Oh,
Thank you.
templates
Otherwise,
are
I
awesome.
will forget. Yeah.
I love stealing other people's
I know.
work,
Not recreating the wheel.
Borrowing.
plagiarizing. All right, I didn't listen to the last meeting, so I had thought that you folks had already voted on the revised special conditions. Were there more changes to the special conditions? Cause,
I forgot why we held this one. Maybe we could check the minutes to see why we held it, or maybe Melissa remembers?
We passed over, because that's the one you were gone and Melissa wasn't here.
No, Melissa and I were here, Peter wasn't here.
I was
And
on-
You were
I was on Zoom.
Melissa was on
the previous one, the previous
Right.
item was passed over.
Right.
Yeah,
I thought you guys talked about this, cause I
I think we
remember.
did, and we said there was nothing else to add or something.
Well, we had nothing to talk, like I didn't have a draft or anything to
Right.
look at, so there wasn't anything to
Okay.
discuss. And I wasn't at the meeting before that, so I didn't know what the revisions had been.
So the only revision is the addition of that one, which is essentially the as-built checklist that we had discussed, and now it's just become a special condition.
Right.
I would venture to say one thing. Before we do all of this, let's let Bree do her thing first. Cause some of this is procedure.
I don't know
It is,
though.
but we need this sooner because
Yeah.
we have not, the orders of conditions for every project need this. And that's why we wanna, I'm not, I understand what you're saying, Joe, but I think that this is more urgent than, and I don't think we wanna wait till all the processes you're documenting before we take action on this.
If we happen to get a COC request over the winter and we don't have something documented, I mean, unless, well, that's not fair because it would likely be in older orders that people would do, but at least we'd have.
The new ones you want this on.
I believe we should be doing this, yes.
Right. You wanna know what I believe?
Santa?
What do you believe? Ding.
Mhm.
As-built plan.
As part of structures.
Bree, are you still there?
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
You have any insights on this?
Jared,
Yeah,
why couldn't an as-built be done by a surveyor? Just curious.
An as-built?
Yep.
It should be done by a surveyor.
Because our surveyors registered PEs.
So it's stamped by the PE afterwards, right?
It,
Yeah, registered surveyor is different than a PE, right?
it is, yes.
That's why I'm asking, 'cause it says registered. So why couldn't a surveyor shooting points? If the house is sitting there, why can't a surveyor shoot it?
Usually, I think I just write certified professional.
Okay, because I just read that and it's one of those, because I mean, every time, when you start a project, it's the surveyors do 90% of the stat.
They do. It's essentially an as-built is just doing the existing conditions plan after the work is done.
Right,
Usually the work's done by a professional land surveyor.
right, so
Okay,
how do you word
change
that
that to-
piece?
Melissa just
Certified
suggested-
professional?
Certified professional or registered professional. I think that's okay. Sometimes it is stamped by a PE.
Right.
And there are certain things a PE
Yes.
can do
Yep.
that, a
Surveyor
surveyor,
can't.
that a surveyor also does. But a
Right.
PE could stamp it as well.
Right, because again, this is one of those I'm looking at, you're looking at points and elevations, which,
In the end, I think either's fine for our purposes.
Right.
Yeah.
right, okay, that's,
Do the registered surveyors, certified surveyors also have stamps?
Yes, it's a PLS stamp, professional land surveyor.
I just wanna make sure that we don't.
And that's,
that
and
we
as a
don't have
PE,
bad
it's
words.
through the state division of licensing,
Right.
yeah, it's,
okay.
yep,
That was the only thing that stood out, and I get it both ways,
yeah.
but there's a big difference if you write the price tag for a PE versus a surveyor. If you had to call somebody an after the fact.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, PE's gonna charge you a lot more.
not necessarily.
Yeah, anyways.
I'm fine
Right.
with
Certified.
registered or certified professional.
Professional.
Either way, they're both
Okay.
registered professionals, yeah.
Oh, so is it registered better than certified? Or does it matter?
I would probably use the word registered or
There you go.
Yeah,
licensed.
use registered, yeah,
Registered, licensed, certified's not the right word there.
Okay,
Alright,
that's registered.
They were
registered
very tight
professional.
jackets.
perfect.
What's that?
They were very tight jackets.
Do you want me to bring it back before you guys, or knowing that I'm gonna change that, are you okay with it?
Change it.
I'm willing to believe that you will change those.
I trust you,
You will
man.
remove the one word in the parentheses.
Yes, I will.
If not, Bree gets it.
No, I got it.
The Miles Road thing with Jim Susi just made me think of this. I know it wouldn't apply for every project. Do we want to include in our special conditions, at least our template, the item about replication areas?
that's what I was gonna add, Jared, is
Okay.
that, like, I've seen so many replication areas come up in this town that I would strongly recommend putting in some special conditions for projects with, replication areas.
Okay, so let's separate this, because we have the special conditions, so do we want replication areas on the as-bills? That's the first question.
Do we want them on the as-bills? That's a good.
Well, if it was part of the project, it will be on the as-built. But I think what we can do is have a subset of standard special conditions for projects that have restoration, which I think is what
Yeah, it should be a
Brianna was
breakout
talking
point.
about.
Right.
Yeah,
So
that is
it's
Melissa, yeah.
something that we don't have to update necessarily this one, but we should have a separate, set of, okay, we can copy and paste this into our standard
Yep.
if we have replication.
Okay, now, I'm all in favor of having special conditions for replication. I know I'm not ready to discuss it today, but if you folks are, let's
Think about it.
okay.
I mean, that definitely soon.
Right, so let's at least prepare to have some special conditions for replication areas to discuss at the next meeting, yeah?
I can send that to Bree because I just updated mine.
That would
Perfect.
be awesome.
Yeah.
I was just looking up our special condition on Miles Road.
Mhm.
And I just noticed it does have the monitoring for 2 years, 80% success rate. The one thing it doesn't note is that the monitoring to be done by a certified wetland scientist.
Okay,
So I think that's something we should get into our template.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
so,
Right,
next time
because
we'll
how
talk,
is Jim Susie gonna know that it's a successful
Right,
wetland?
agree,
Like,
exactly.
you know what I
It needs to be the
mean?
right
It's-
professional to make that determination, yeah,
yeah,
I agree.
okay. We'll bring any proposed special conditions for that to the next meeting.
Pave it and paint it green.
No, Scott,
Oh, damn.
That's our turf okay?
let's try.
It didn't die.
No nitrogen, low maintenance.
Now, are we still treating this set separately to be approved on its own? And then,
Yes, I think
Yes.
I think we should approve this one
Yes.
today.
Yeah, we're approving this one to let you have your hand of God on it, and the other one we'll bring back
One
up.
question there on that
Yes,
41 there. If that's a special condition, and at the end of 3 years, the OOC expires, does that go away when we're saying that it needs to
No.
continue?
no, it specifically says it continues,
Mm-hmm.
so it
Right,
doesn't
but-
expire.
But it's a special condition on an order of conditions. That does expire.
So I think you're
Would it be enforced?
just thinking too much into it in general because even if it's expired and they do an alteration in jurisdictional area, there's a violation, period. I think you're thinking too technical.
Right, but I think the Wetlands Protection Act would already, I mean, I think we're being redundant with that.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Do we,
I can say that's
Do we
always
need to
been
be
there, that's
redundant
not
is
something
what-
I
no.
added, we've always had that.
It's always been there, Joe.
you know, and do,
I
and do we, you know,
It's always been there, Joe.
some creative lawyer argue.
You started it. You put it in 20 years ago.
Yeah,
I didn't.
somebody did.
I
I
tried.
I know I didn't do that.
Yeah.
Uh,
I like that because it just tells you that no matter what the conditions,
It is stressing, stressing a particular
Yeah.
element of the Wetlands Protection Act. And it reinforces it.
And if we were ever to get a bylaw, these would be our conditions under the bylaw and would be an additional violation if we were to ever issue fines.
Right.
Melissa, when we get a bylaw,
That's right.
positive thinking, Melissa.
Sorry.
Really? Come on, Downey Downer.
And for the record, I'm
My
getting
bad.
noise, I am getting noise about us not having the bylaw done yet.
No.
I don't care that much, but I'm getting noise.
You're on public camera.
Yes, I am.
All you do is care.
As usual, you funny guys. Okay, so, motion to approve special condition 40
So moved.
as
Second.
a standard special condition, whatever. So moved, I get it. Discussion. Roll call.
Langer and I.
Gentilucci, aye.
Clock eye.
Delco, aye.
Dan's eye.
Crane, aye. Okay. Where are we? Oh, yeah, huh. the forest cutting plan.
Glenwood Road.
We got, yes, so
What are we cutting on Glenwood Road?
let me scroll down so you can see the map. Right at the corner of Glenwood and East County Road, that
Oh.
big 10-acre lot.
The big one that goes up back and there's a ton of wetland in the back of it.
Yes,
Goes right around, Provost has a house in the middle.
exactly. Now, one of the things that
That one?
concerns
That
me
one.
a little bit, just a little bit, haha, is, as you said, there's wetland there. It's a 10-acre parcel. They're doing the entire 10-acre parcel according to this paper.
Clearing the whole thing?
Yeah, they did.
How else, yeah, I was gonna say.
did?
This was scheduled, proposed to start 7/25, we just got it today, so I had heard that it was going on.
It says 2022.
22, oh, that's true, it does.
Wow,
I was gonna
we're way
say.
behind.
We just
Because
got
we
this in the
talked about
mail
this
a couple
before.
days- yeah, like
Right.
last week, I think.
And somebody had asked me about if we had a forest cutting plan, I said, not to my knowledge.
It's clear cut?
Yeah, we talked about this before, because I
Yes.
asked about it.
I vaguely
You mentioned seeing.
They were cutting trees and doing it, yeah.
But I didn't realize it was clear cut, I guess.
Oh, well, it was supposed, I didn't think it was a clear cut either at that time.
Well, again, I can't say that it's clear cut, but I can say, how many million board feet is this? 30 million board feet, I think?
Well, they took it.
Yeah, 30
stuff
million
out.
board feet, 40 cords.
Is there
Yeah,
a
they took-
reason they would have sent it to us again, given that the work was done so long ago? Like, is there like an update or a note
I don't
or
remember
something?
ever seeing this, so this is to my brain, again, my memory's bad, don't trust it,
Did,
but
if you look in the 2022 folder on the SharePoint, I would have put it under the miscellaneous folder. I put all the forest cutting plans there, so if we did get it, it would be there.
So the fact that it says final on the sides make me think that there was some sort of update.
I don't know, I'm used to seeing final everywhere, so if it was 22, where would it be now, Tamika? I'm
On
sorry.
the, under 22, under, miscellaneous folder.
RDA's, orders, meeting materials, COCs, applications.
Go back one.
There's a Concom miscellaneous.
Yeah, try that, Jared. I don't know why,
Under
but
which?
the SharePoint,
Main page all the way at the bottom. You scroll down. Last folder, third up
yeah,
from the
oh,
top.
maybe it didn't organize it, but here. The other thing you could do is,
We could search, that's
probably
cheating.
say-
That's no fun.
Extensions, SCPs, right?
Yep.
Oh, wait a second, that scrolled right by F.
Tree cutting Glenwood Road,
Oops,
it was there.
I think that might have been for a
Tree
private
cutting,
resident.
tree removal. No, hold on.
Tree cutting.
Right,
near
one
Glenwood
more up,
Road.
tree cutting on Glenwood Road.
That might have been a private person. Oh, that was for the Clorios.
Okay.
That's Cleario.
So maybe we didn't get anything.
again, I'm not saying, I'm far from perfect in this space, but I don't remember anything about this property.
I know you said something about it, Skip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Skip talking about it, but I don't remember ever seeing paperwork. So,
He's good friends with somebody in town, so maybe he didn't think he needed it.
It's firewood.
let's see if I go back to the FCP. It is. I mean, we go looking down at all the. There's a lot of stuff there.
Well, yeah, he was there a long time.
Yeah.
Only 40 cords, so
40, comma, 000.
no, further up it said 40. That's .000.
Oh,
Yeah.
I gotta get my glasses changed.
30
million board feet. So I would assume that those are distinct piles, just different results, right? Cause or does the cordwood get turned into the board feet afterwards? Cause I had assumed that, I had a thought that they were two different sets of output. I mean, granted, they both go to the mill, but.
Cordwood goes to Joe in the backyard and
Okay.
he cut up with a chainsaw.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
So my question would be, why weren't we notified? For something that had planned to be started in July of 22, why are we getting something in
Now.
December of 23 after the work has been done or
So
substantially
my,
complete?
my thing on that is, then I would request a site walk. There's so much water over there. What did you do that, or
What were your protections?
what are you now? What did you do to what was there? We never saw it.
We never saw anything coming from
I mean,
CR.
Right, well, that's exactly my point. We never saw
Has any of this actually gone
They
through?
would have got a copy of this too, right?
probably the exact same day we did.
So this
Well,
week.
DCI used to send us the copy as a courtesy.
File
of
number,
their-
oh wait, no, they received it in 22.
Okay.
They received it in July of 22 with an earlier start of 8/5/22.
Does that say November 27th up the top there?
Yeah, that's when we received it, was last week.
Because I can't read the rest of the date because
Right.
Peter's
Yeah,
got
it's
some crap on the
2023.
side.
People complain when I leave it up, people complain when I take
November
it
of
up.
2023.
Yeah.
That's when we got it.
That's when we got it. This is our copy. yeah.
so we should see this.
Right, but where is the one that says approved by DCI?
I don't know, there's no case number on this?
Right.
That you would get from DCR, not from,
Right.
Will you scroll all the way to the end, Peter?
I assume you mean right about here?
Yeah. So yeah, final report and comments, 10/26/23. So approved.
It looks like James Seidel's signature.
Yeah.
So I think this means that they're done. Yes, so I hereby certify that the A4 described forest cutting plan and all relevant statutes have been substantially complied with, aka they finished. That's why we just got it sent to us.
So who would issue the date for the expiration date on this thing?
So it's signed by DCR
I'm guessing it was good.
at
for
the
2 years.
determination from last year, 8/2/2022. Jacob Seidel.
Yeah, but it says
Expired
24
7/21.
expires. 24.
Yep, but they already completed it, so they notified a DCR that they were done.
Right.
It's like getting a COC from us.
Hmm.
So they were just notifying us that they closed it out and all is well.
yeah, so
Presumably.
what's done is done, apparently.
What's done is done, but if they violated the Wetlands Act in their doing it, which,
Can you pull up a GIS map?
yes, in fact, that's where I was when I go over here. Glenwood, wait. No.
So I think maybe instead our first course of action should be talking to Jacob Seidel at DCR
Right.
to ask, what the process is. And, we seem to be getting inconsistencies in what plans and when we receive them, especially if we never received this in 2022.
Right. Waiting for it to draw, but yes, that's the property. There's the wetland.
I can reach out to him if you guys want.
Oh, that'd be great, thank you.
That's great. And I'll double check to make sure that I'll check the paper file to make sure that we didn't get
Good
it, cause I
choice.
don't wanna you know, accuse them of something if it was a filing error.
Yep.
Right.
Thanks, Tanika.
You're welcome.
Embry.
All right.
Yeah, cause they should be notifying us, before, so.
They usually do.
I mean, normally, that's the first time I've
Yeah.
seen them come, I mean, I know we talked about it, but that's only because Skip brought it up.
Yep.
I remember, another one was remember, but you don't remember.
Again, their usual process is to notify us. I don't. And I do
And
wonder
it could be
if something,
in the wrong spot.
Right.
Right.
And you know what, I would have uploaded it to the meeting materials folder, so I'll check in there. And
Okay.
then I'll also check my hard copy of miscellaneous stuff.
Great, thank you.
My 2022 box.
Alrighty. So you're gonna check before we reach out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cause I wanna make sure it's
Okay.
not our mistake. Or my mistake.
Yeah, let's cause the last thing we wanna do is what the hell, and say, oh, I did on this date. We don't want that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't wanna rely on just SharePoint.
Alright. So that's it for that. Wetlands bylaw. It should come as a complete shock to everyone that I've done no work on this since I went away on vacation. I know.
That's what you get for
He's still my
retiring.
heart. I am hoping one day to actually be a man of
This is gonna
leisure.
start counting against your
Are you officially
popularity.
retired
points,
yet?
you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, congrats.
It took you so long.
Now I need a new job, but one problem at a time. I'll tell you, right now I'm so hung up on on all the general bylaws that getting time for this one is,
Hey,
At the
Skip.
bottom of the list.
Hey, Skip.
it's,
Motion to
Motion adjourned?
second.
wait, what? Hold on, we gotta ask the question first.
I
Is
know.
there any other business before the commission?
No.
Public, public comment?
We have a motion.
Public do you want public comments?
There's,
No, I know there's no public, but.
Second.
I heard a second earlier, I don't care, whoever you would give it
I
to.
already wrote it, so.
Aye.
Roll call, I'm gonna start outside. Melissa?
Danza, aye.
No, well,
Clock eye.
Lucia.
Langer, aye.
Crane, aye. We're adjourned at 7:27. Thank you all very, very much for attending. I appreciate you being here.